Broncos news. What is going on, Broncos country? Welcome to game day. That's right, week 4, Broncos versus Jets. It is here. Broncos looking to get their second road win in a row after demolishing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in their week 3 upset. Now, a couple things here. The Jets are not going to be surprised like the Buccaneers were. The Jets aren't going to let themselves fall behind 17-0 like the Buccaneers did. So this is going to be a little bit of a different game. However, we did see what the Broncos are fully capable of doing last week in week 3. So the question is, can they repeat that this week? Hey, my name is Kevin Dan. Welcome to Bourbon Broncos No BS. This is the Tailgate Talk 1 hour before kickoff. We do this every game day. Also, don't forget we're live during halftime as well for the original live halftime hash show here at Bourbon Broncos No BS. So as soon as halftime starts, check on in over with us and we'll be live talking about the first half of the game. Okay, let's break it down, guys. Post your comments, post your questions. I want to hear what you have to say about this upcoming game because my thoughts aren't that important. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So everybody who's here already, start posting your comments, questions. We'll get score predictions at the end of the show at the bottom of the hour. And we have a prize for anyone who guesses the score correctly. Allison, as always, you were like one of the first ones in here, as always. Thank you, Allison. You are fantastic. Christopher, believe. It is time to believe, guys, after what we saw last week. Bo Nix is fully capable of doing this. There's just a lot of external things around him that need to get figured out for him to be able to really succeed, and not just as a quarterback, but as a rookie quarterback in his 4th ever NFL start, one of which is the run game. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's start with going over the inactives for today. The big one for the Broncos is Devon Vele. Sucks to see him out again, but is what it is. We're going to have to deal with that. It looks like Humphrey, little Jordan Humphrey is going to get more reps, as well as Troy Franklin, which honestly, if anybody needs the reps, Troy Franklin could definitely use them. So not expecting many targets his direction, but I just, after what we saw in week 1 with Devon Vele and Bo Nix there, I mean, that was the one probably really good takeaway other than defense, but the one good takeaway on offense from week 1 was that connection between Nix and Vele. So to see that now 3 weeks, like not there, is definitely painful because I want to see what that guy has and get that thing going. But of course, don't want him to rush back after an injury. So we'll play it smart. Hopefully we have him back by the Raiders game next week. That's right, guys. As soon as this game's over, it is a Raiders week. So get ready for it. So that's the big one for the Broncos there. Tight end Lucas Krull. Okay. You know, again, I like to see maybe what he has to do, but if they're really relying on Dulcich, then, you know, okay. You know, I think he had a better game last week. So we'll see what happens there. Now for the Jets, a couple big names here. First one, I'm not even trying to say this last name. Their 4th string running back is out. Okay. They're one of their 3rd string cornerbacks is out. Now, let me just go through a couple of the big names here. Offensive lineman, their right tackle, Morgan Moses, is out. Now, that's the big one because that's their starting right tackle. So if he's out, which he is, and which team got 7 sacks last week and 9 QB hits, right? So if your right tackle is out and you're facing a defense that just got 7 sacks and 9 QB hits, you are going to want to really pay attention to your offensive line, especially the right side, to make sure that nobody gets through that side. Now, if you end up, you know, doing some, you know, double teams or whatever on the right side to keep those players at bay, well, then that's just going to open up stuff on the other side, right? So we have a lot of players that were getting into the backfield last week. I don't foresee that being a problem again today. The question is, are we going to be able to get to Rodgers in time? Because Rodgers, look, Mayfield's great. I'm not saying that he's not a good quarterback by any means, but Aaron Rodgers, right? So he knows the stuff is coming. He knows the pressure is coming, and he can get that ball out of his hands really, really quickly. So just because that's an opportunity for us, we're going to have to make sure that we take advantage of that and at least get to him and hit him a couple times to maybe, you know, try to knock him a little silly. I don't know, not hurt him, but we want to throw him off his game, right? So on the offense, that's the biggest one for the Jets. On the defensive side for the Jets, biggest one, linebacker CJ Mosley is out. So middle linebacker there for the Jets, he's out. You know, again, don't want anyone to be hurt, but that's not a bad thing for the Broncos either, especially if we're trying to get a run game going, which is going to be really, really, really important today. Let's see, Chris. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna have to talk about it. Alex, freaking the beast, Singleton. He'd be out there today if I'm sure he told the doctors I want to be out there today. The dude played essentially 3/4 of a game with the torn ACL and wasn't flinching. Right? I mean, how big of a thing is that? The fact the guy wasn't even flinching and playing the rest of the game with a torn ACL is outstanding, and playing at the level he was. I mean, once again, he was the lead tackler for the Broncos. Now, here lies the problem, right? Broncos lose their top tackler, and it wasn't just like the top tackler for that game, or he's usually in the top 3, top 5 on the team for tackles. He's in the top 3 for overall tackles each year. No, this is our leading tackler week in and week out, year in and year out, and now Alex Singleton is gone for the year. So what does this do for the overall powerhouse defense? We're going to find out. We are going to find out, and there might be some transition situations here where they're trying to figure out, okay, what works, what doesn't work, as we try to get player personnel right, schemes right. It's really going to be, falling on the lap of Vance Joseph to try to figure this out. We've been singing his praises the last few weeks, end of last season, rightfully so, after he turned it around from the way last season started. But how are we going to do this now, right? We'll definitely have to wait and see. We'll kind of see who the next player up is going to be. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Let me see if I can pull some information up while I talk to you guys about this. But either way, I personally think that losing Alex Singleton is going to take him down, or take the defense in general down at least one notch. If we were looking at an 8 out of 10 defense, I think we're at least a 7 out of 10 defense now. I think that's how big of a loss Alex Singleton is, because just of the sheer number of tackles he gets, right? And it looks like Strnad is going to be the main guy filling in for where Alex Singleton was. So Justin Strnad's the next guy up. And we've seen that he's been mostly a special teams guy over the past few years, but he's done, and we've seen him make several good plays on special teams, especially this year. So this could be like, hey, this guy gets a chance to step in, have his moment in the limelight. Basically, Alex Singleton's out the rest of the year, so he has the rest of the year to make a name for himself. And this is a huge, huge opportunity for him. So how he goes out there and executes on all this is really up to him. We can have the best scheming and everything, but he has got to get those tackles. He has got to make those stops. He has got to be as close to the guy as Alex Singleton as Alex Singleton is. But we're just going to have to wait and find out. That's going to be a huge question mark for today, because if they just, if they start breaking those tackles, that's just, the defense can't get off the field. Points are going on the board against us. The offense has, more work to do. We're relying on more touchdowns and field goals. And it's just right. So defense has done great. I don't think this is going to cause the defense to completely fall apart, but it is going to impact us a lot, and we're going to have to really find a way to overcome this. FAFO. Yep. Figure around and find out. That's the best way. Yep. We will find out for sure. Thanks, man. Chris, I hope the guy who we pick up from Green Bay. Who was that guy? I'm bad at names. Broncos sign. This is why I need somebody in the background to pull up information for me, like they have in actual radio studios. If you guys have that name, I can see if I can. Let's see, linebacker Christian Welch. Okay, so Welch does look like he's he's not inactive today, and he is listed behind Justin Strnad. So are we going to see him today? Probably. In what capacity? I don't know. Probably pretty limited. But it could be a thing where he's out there 20% of the time, 25% of the time, basically just giving Justin some breaks. But I think you're going to see, in this case, since we just got Welch, I think you could see Justin Strnad getting the vast, vast majority of all of these, defensive snaps. So that's going to be interesting for for sure. Joey, how you doing? Glad to see you in here. We need defense to be aggressive and play well. That's the main topic for right now. I mean, this defense has to go out there and find a way to get stops. I mean, they have to find a way to get turnovers as well. You know, this Jets offense, it's not Hackett. Okay, let's just throw that out there right now. Hackett is a hack job. He's a hack. He is a loser. I'm sorry, but Hackett is just no. Hackett is not some great offensive coordinator mind. He is not no, okay. He is benefiting from Aaron Rodgers. Period. The end. Okay. So Hackett, good for you, buddy. You're riding the coattails of a Hall of Fame quarterback. And once he's gone, you're going to be back to just looking like an idiot. And he's probably going to get another head coaching job, and he's probably going to fail just as badly in that head coaching job as he did the first time around with the Broncos. Anyway, apparently I need to talk to my therapist. I have some built-up anger against Hackett. Those were some bad years. Let's see. Breece Hall has killed us in years past. Gotta stop him. Ooh, yeah, no, that's a big one as well. We're gonna have to stop him. I mean, I think the running game is probably the biggest issue for us. Well, let me say this. It's not so much the run game, it's their running back and how they scheme him. Because he's very let me get their roster up here. Yeah, it is Breece Hall, but Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis on their running back core, maybe not as big of threats, but Breece Hall between running and catching the ball in the passing game as well, that's where he can be just as big a threat. So we cannot allow him to be a big receiving threat and a big rushing threat. We can't allow him to rack up those yards in both categories. We're going to have to limit him to one or the other. We either have to shut down their pass game from the running back to backfield, shut down the pass game in general. Hello, Sertan, come on, man. And Riley Moss, looking at you guys. You guys have been having a great season. Keep it up, guys. Or, allow them kind of have some sort of pass game, but stop their run game. Make them one-dimensional is what I'm getting at. Because if you're allowing them to do all these things on us, it is just going to wear our defense down. They're going to be tired by the end of the game. They've had a long week on the road. I don't care what you say. You can make it as nice a resort as possible. You're staying in West Virginia. I know the weather was not great, so they were practicing indoors in like ballrooms or something. So I really don't know how this is going to go in terms of what happened to them over the course of the week. But they haven't been home for a week, right? And you're more used to that time zone, but that takes a lot out of you. So Kristen Welch, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Colton, how you doing, man? Colton, we're gonna get you up here on the show in these times, man. Thanks for trying today. And we'll get that figured out. Jets offense has the ability to pick secondaries apart because of Aaron Rodgers. Yes, not with Aaron Rodgers. Thank you. I completely agree. Put any receiver with a sub 4.6 40 time, and it's good luck. Riley Moss and PS2 will be what determines the outcome of this game. They're because you take away that deep threat, and then, it really changes what they're going to want to do with their game. Now, I fully expect them, Aaron Rodgers, to test PS2 and test Riley Moss early on. So those guys have a lot of work coming up for them here in the next 40 minutes. And it's going to be exciting to see because I think they're up for the challenge. PS2 especially. Are they going to be able to lock them down like they have in the recent weeks? Maybe not. I don't think that the Jets wide receiving core is going to have a heyday though. I don't think they're going to each have 150 receiving yards, blah, 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 all this crap, right? I think it's going to be a close game. But I think taking away the deep threat, just the cornerbacks we have, Riley Moss is really starting to prove himself through 3 weeks. I mean, he is stepping up big time. And if he keeps this going, man, you're talking about maybe the foundation of another no-fly zone. Does it start today with the Jets, right? I'm just saying they're going to be testing. You look back to Mayfield. Mayfield's also a gunslinger. He loves to push the ball down the field. And if you give him the opportunity, he's going to do it. And we saw him try to do it, some out of desperation in the second half. But we took away that deep threat, right? We didn't allow those deep passes to really work out. And a lot of it was the coverage, which allowed the sacks, which allowed the QB hits, and, it kind of all just folded. So the defense was definitely covering very well last week. I know you don't really see it on the screen when the quarterback hikes the ball. Everybody's eye is basically on the quarterback and on the ball. You don't see what's going on where the screen cuts off or in the backfield, all that stuff. But I mean, the announcer said it several times, and going back and looking at it, I completely agree. The coverage was just spot on. And that took away all the options for Mayfield, allowing us to get in the backfield. Now, the Jets saw that, and it's going to be interesting to see how they scheme against that, because they know we're going to be trying to do the exact same thing. And we also know that they expect to come out and throw the ball deep down the field. So, Colton, great comment, man. Completely agree. Joey, I put Sertan on Mike Williams and put Moss on Wilson. Big height difference in Moss and Williams. That might be something. If it's not working out, they try it. I wonder what Vance Joseph has planned for that. Is that something you really considered? Is that something that's going to play a factor into this? If it is, and we see that it ends up being a factor, do we make any adjustments throughout the game, or do we just stick with what it is? Right. So, hey, that could be something to watch out for, Joey, and then bring it up later. Let me know what you see. I'll try to look out for it as well. Hey, guys, we have 10 minutes left before the end of the show, so let's start talking about score predictions. Now, if you've been here before, you know how this works. You have to guess the Broncos to win. You can't pick the Jets to win and get the correct score. We don't play that game here, okay? Even if you think the Broncos are going to lose, I don't care. We're going to play this game and enter into the drawing for free Broncos swag from us here at Orange Weekly, Bourbon Broncos, no BS. You're going to have to pick the Broncos to win. From there, put your score prediction down and get a screenshot of it, okay? We get a lot of score predictions, and I can't always keep track of it all. Plus, also by the end of the game, I'm usually too excited or sad to remember everything. So get a screenshot of your score prediction so that if you are correct, I want you to message me that score prediction, that screenshot, and say, hey, KevDan, booyah, I was right. Here's the proof. Get me my swag, and I'd be more than happy to do that. So start posting your score predictions, guys. I'll give mine here at the end of the game. I will say a couple times last year, only Troy Rank had the Broncos to win, and those usually ended up turning out in our favor when everyone else was picking against the Broncos. Now, in this game, Troy Rank, Jets versus Broncos. Let's see what he has to say. Last I saw, Troy Rank was like, yep, this is going to be it. Broncos will be hard-pressed against the Jets on Sunday, but do you know why they have a chance? Vance Joseph's defense. So totally agree. I think Troy Rank has the pick for Denver to win today. So, again, can't verify or rely on everything you see on the internet and everything you see on TikTok and Facebook, but I did see that, and it would be interesting to see if he picked us again when everybody else is picked against us, because he seems to be our good luck charm. So let's see some of those score predictions coming in, guys. I love it. Chris, best white cornerback, Riley Moss. Hey, it is a rare thing in the league, just calling it as I sees it. Okay, very rare, and for him to go out there and be doing so well, it is fantastic to see. You got Moss by a game named Moss. I love it, man. Chris, 32-24 Broncos, high scoring game. Broncos getting 32 points. I love it. I think Denver 24, Jets 17 from Colton. I love it, man. A good close game. Ross 14-16 or 14-6 Denver. Man, if we can hold the Jets defense to 6 points, or if we can hold the Jets offense to 6 points, I mean, I don't know what else you can say at that point other than this is a top 3 defense. Period out the end. Okay. Terry, how you doing? 31-27. I like that as well. Some high scoring guesses for the Broncos. Here we go. Joey, 27-24. Andrew, 23-20. I have my lucky boxers on. I got my lucky socks on. I got my lucky necklace on. I got my lucky jersey on, hat. I got the luck. Okay, so if we lose today, it's not my fault. You can't say KevDan wasn't doing everything he could on his side. I am. I'm trying my best, guys. Keep those score predictions coming in. Let me break down what I think is going to happen today. And of course, this is usually just not even close. So let's just have fun with it and see where it goes. Either way, Broncos start with the ball. If the Jets win the coin toss, I think they're going to defer because I don't think they care. I think they'd rather have the ball at halftime. Broncos win the coin toss. We're going to elect to receive first. because we want to be aggressive. So either way, I think the game's going to start off the way the Broncos want it to start off. Now, if the Jets really wanted to screw with us right off the bat, maybe not screw with us, but throw us for a little bit of a loop, I would say if they win the coin toss and they elect to receive, I think there's a small chance of that, but that would, we want Bo Nix to get out there quickly. We want them to get a rhythm. We want to get the defense off their guard. All those things we saw happen last week, right? We want to go. We want to be aggressive. We want to get the lead. We want to get the points on the board first. We want to get the confidence in this team, all that stuff. So I would expect to see there's probably an 80% chance the Broncos receive the ball first. Just a slight chance that the Jets will get it first. That's if they win the coin toss and they decide that, you know what, let's be the one that's aggressive today, and let's be the one that gets the points on the board first. I think we are going to see a similar performance in terms of pressure on the quarterback. I don't expect 7 sacks. I expect 3 sacks with still about 9 QB hits. I think we can definitely continue to get in the backfield with the talent we have, the pressure we have, the scheme we have, everything Vance Joseph is dialing up. It seems to be working. Now, are the Jets able to break that apart and figure out, a way around everything Vance Joseph is doing between last week and this week? I don't know. Probably not, because this defense just seems to be dogs, man. They seem to be going out there and just bringing everything they have, especially now that they know that their offense is behind them and they have something more, other than let me just, play hard to try to keep the offense in it. It's let's play hard because the offense is doing their job and we want to do just as good as they are, right? I mean, when the other part of the team is doing their job as well, it invigorates you even more. So defense is going to be out there. Defense is going to be rolling. I expect a fumble recovery. I expect an interception. I expect 3 sacks and 9 QB hits from the defense. Defense is not a concern for me today. Jets are still going to put up points. I think Jets are going to put up 17 points. And that's going to be okay. Because we look at the offense, I think the offense is going to be able to get a little bit more of a run game going today. Now, I will say right off the bat, if Bo Nix is the lead rusher at the end of the game, we have lost the game. Period. At the end, I do not see any situation in which the Broncos have Bo Nix being the leading receiver and winning the game. Just not going to happen in this situation today. So we have got to get these guys the ball early. We've got to feed them the ball. We've got to figure out who has the hot hand and get them going. Now, you have an interesting situation. Javonte Williams looking really, I don't know. I don't know about Javonte right now. He seems to be in his own head. There's just, what happened to the guy who got the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards after contact? It's just not there. We got it. We gave him the grace last year saying, hey, you came back off of an injury. You were barely able to get healthy enough to be able to play. So we don't expect amazingness from you. We're going to give you a whole nother offseason and expect you to come out and be the same, just dynamic, powerful running back you were in your rookie year, at least to some degree. We haven't seen any of that from Javonte this Williams. In fact, he had that fumble last week, which essentially benched him from there and elevating Tyler Bidet into that starting running back position, giving him 11 carries. Now, I know he got the 90 yards rushing, but 43 of that was from that long run. I don't care. It still counts. Most of his yards came from a long run. Yeah, well, he still had a long run, and the longest run that any of the Broncos running backs have had this season. So Tyler Bidet, I'm looking at you, kid. I'm thinking that you might be the number one right now. Honest to God. If I'm the coaching staff, if I'm Sean Payton, I might be looking at Tyler Bidet and say, you know what? Again, this is a situation that nobody expects the Broncos to win. What's the problem with giving Tyler Bidet the start? What's the problem with that? Javonte Williams needs to get a message sent to him that he is in serious concern of losing his job. Think he's supposed to be a free agent this next year. I love the guy. He seems like a really nice guy, but if he can't put it out on the field, then sorry, man, we're going to find the guys that can. And if it's because of your injury, then that sucks, dude, because you didn't ask for it, but here we are and we need somebody to produce. And Tyler Bidet was just going off last week. So was that a fluke, or is that something that we can really expect from this young guy? And we're going to have to give him the ball in order to answer that question. So to me, I don't think you even really start with looking at Javonte Williams as your number one guy. Maybe he's out there on the first snap, but after that, I'm looking at Tyler Bidet and saying, dude, get this rush game going, and then go from there. If he doesn't end up, not getting much, okay, then we have to go back to see what Javonte Williams and them can do. But The run game is going to be key today. Let's see. Bo plays tremendously better with the lead. I agree. And I think it's because there's just not that pressure, right? He's not trying to be the running back. He's not trying to be the quarterback. He's not trying to force the ball down the field. He can just play his own style of ball at that point. And that's exactly what we saw last week. A guy who is confident, comfortable, is able to just think in, it seemed like the first 2 weeks of the season, he was just so bogged down with everything going on. Also, Colton, I think you talked about it before the show as well. Some of the changes that Sean Payton implemented last week, quicker play calls, reducing the number of changes on personnel groups on the field. So it's not going from 11 personnel to 21 to 22 to 12 to 11 to 12 to 21 to 12 to 11 every single play where we're trying to figure out. So when you see Bo do this, I'm pretty sure he's saying 11 personnel. I'm pretty sure he's saying 21 personnel or whatever, 12, they cut down on that, giving him more time at the line of scrimmage. He can think, he can process. Boom, and we're able to keep the up tempo going, which I expect to see from this offense again as well today. So look, guys, the offense has a lot of things to work on. They have a lot of things to clean up. Last week was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. However, we took the Buccaneers by surprise last week. We are not going to take the Jets by surprise this week. So what are we going to do about it? We're about 30 minutes away from finding out. So my final score prediction, guys, Broncos 20, Jets 17. It's going to be a close game, but Bo Nix led drive down the field at the end of the game to set us up for the game-winning field goal. I love it. Let's see. Last couple comments here. Shot of Broncos blend would help with that cough. Yeah, believe me, guys. Breckenridge Distillery Broncos blend, championship blend. Make sure you check this stuff, guys, out. It is delicious. They also have their vodka as well, Broncos vodka from Breckenridge Distillery. Colton agreed. We have to run the damn ball. And you said that as well. It's going to open up that RPO, right? If we can get the run play or if we get the run game going, the RPO gets open and then Bo can make those decisions. We saw he made really good decisions last week. Pull it or pass it. And it worked out. I mean, I think he's ranked as the best rookie quarterback with his legs, if not one of the best quarterbacks with his legs so far this season. So, it's made for him. And so we just got to find a way to get that going so that he can excel in that area. Jerry, how you doing, man? Go Team Visor. I know you're a Team Visor guy, man. Glad to have you here. He's betting a 17-7 for the Broncos. I would just love to see us absolutely shut down the Jets offense to keep them to 7 or 6 points. Even if we kept them to 10 points. I mean, that would just be, I might cry tears of happiness if we do that. For real. Williams, since his ACL tear, has been mediocre, second string caliber back. Yeah. And it's sad because we saw how much potential he had in his rookie year. So we know he can do it, but it's like, what is causing this to go on for a second year in a row like this now? Is it still the injury or is it something else? Because it just doesn't seem like he has that fire, that passion, that willingness, that resolve that I am going to get it doesn't matter if a guy hits me. It doesn't matter if 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys hit me. I am getting those 5, 6, 7 yards. I'm going to get it. We don't see that from him right now. From right now, it's like, oh, you got me. I'm down. No. There's my 2 yards for the carry. Good job, dude. Not helping us. Okay. So, Justin, I wasn't going to say anything because I don't want to jinx it. I think today's the day, man. I think today's the day. I'm not. Don't hold me to it, but I'm looking forward to it. Guys, we are less than 30 minutes from kickoff. Welcome to week 4 of the NFL. You got Broncos, you got Jets. Broncos are on the road, second week in the row. They got the Raiders coming up next week, and then the Chargers the week after that. So we got a lot of interesting football, a lot of things to talk about as we're coming up the next couple of weeks. Don't forget, we got our live halftime hash show, the original live halftime show live here at Bourbon Broncos No BS. So as soon as halftime starts, pull up your phone, go grab your snacks, join us in the conversation as we break down the first half of the game. Don't forget about the post-game podcast as well. That'll come out tomorrow night. Monday nights, it's usually done. Tuesday night, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, we got Bourbon, Broncos, and No BS, our flagship show. We are live here taking your questions and your comments for the full hour there. Pre-game podcast Fridays on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Podchaser, wherever you listen to your podcast. I guarantee you we are there. I think we're on podcast platforms that I don't even know about, to be completely honest with you. I just learned about Podchaser. I didn't even know that was a thing, but we are there. So if that's something you use, you can find us. Guys, get ready for it. No matter what, try to enjoy the game. Remember, rebuilding year. This is a rebuilding year. Let's just look for progress. Let's look for consistency more than the end result of the game. I'm telling myself that now so that if we do lose, I'm not totally devastated. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. My name's Kev Dan. You're watching Bourbon, Broncos, and OBS. I will be back here with you live at halftime. Paula, last couple here, right here. Thank you very much. 21-10 Broncos. Love it, guys. Go Broncos for sure. Take care, everyone. We will see you guys in a few hours. As always, nothing left to say other than end it, as we always do. We're very strong. Go Broncos. Take care, guys.
Do what I like, yeah, I do what I like, yeah, I do what I like. Sip and go, sip is right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a pro.